Hello, hello, Jamaal Rashad coming to you today from Frederick, Maryland. ValorLives interview series episode number 36. Today I'm at Harley House with Inga James. Say hello.
Hi there.
So, why do we do what we do? Number one, because there's successful people who deserve to have their stories told. Number two, because there's people out there who need to hear successful stories. And number three, to let you know you could go out there with a camera phone and a selfie stick and impact your community. So, just like always, no interviews over 10 minutes long, raw, uncut, no special lighting, no special editing. One take. So, Inga, why do you do what you do?
Because 25% of women out there will be affected by domestic violence, will be victims of domestic violence. 20% of women will be victims of sexual assault at some point in her life. So that's why I do it, because it's really rampant, and we need more services out there.
Okay. And what about, so what were you doing before you were here?
Before I was here, I was a consultant working with nonprofits who serve victims of crime.
Okay, so have you always been in a role where you're serving people who are in some type of unhealthy relationship?
Yes, as I've worked in child abuse, I've worked in sexual assault and domestic violence. And at the beginning of my career, I was actually a parole officer where I worked with the offenders.
Like in a jail or something?
No, they were living out in the community.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
I did that for about 5 years.
Wow. Okay.
I worked with sex offenders.
Inga, you blow my mind. So you obviously have a heart for helping people.
Mm-hmm.
So what about this position attracted you to come here? Because as you said, you could have went in a completely different direction, working more with the kids or something like that. But why specifically Harley House?
Because Harley House is one of the best known domestic violence centers in the state. It's considered to be top notch, cream of the crop.
Okay.
Serves the community as well or better than any other domestic violence center in the state. And I say that in a humble way because Vice President Joe Biden actually called us out as one of the best in the state in his report in 2014 about the Violence Against Women's Act.
Okay. So let's say you have absolutely no idea, or somebody has no idea what Harley House is.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going through a abusive relationship and they pick up the phone to call Harley House, what happens?
Well, they talk to one of our crisis workers, and that person will try and understand their story to get them referred to the right resources.
Okay. So whether it be legal or police involvement or sexual or counseling or like psychology, like whatever goes on, they'll direct you in the direction you need to go to.
That's right. Hartley House provides counseling, legal services, and a crisis hotline and a shelter.
Okay. So if you have any situation where you're in an unhealthy relationship, the first thing you could do is call Harley House. All right. So on a more personal side, what has been the proudest moment of your career?
I think probably getting this job. It was very competitive.
Okay.
There were a lot of hoops to jump through,
Okay.
and I got it. So I think that was a very proud moment in my life.
So what do you mean by some of the hoops that you had to jump through?
Oh, I had 3 or 4 interviews. I had tests I had to take. I had to meet with different board members. I was scouted first by a headhunter firm. So it was just lots to go through.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is because she is extremely qualified to do her job. So that means her leadership will go down through the organization. So the people that you're going to be dealing with are going to be extremely qualified and extremely competent in their jobs. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, it is.
What has been one of the lowest moments of your career here at Harley House?
I think I had to lay somebody off because of budget issues, and that was probably the lowest moment. That was very difficult because she was an exceptional employee.
Okay. Do you have a morning routine, something you do every day to get your day started successfully?
Coffee. It's got to be coffee.
Okay.
I can't go without it.
All right. What book or audio are you currently reading or listening to?
I am currently reading, having never read it before, the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which is people of my era laugh at me that I've never read it before because it was very popular back in the 70s.
Okay, is that actually about? So, are you a motorcycle?
No, it's all about this father and his son touring the United States on motorcycles, and about their philosophical read on life as their bikes break down and they have to fix them at different locations in the country. It's very interesting because it's very insightful.
Sounds good to me. So, do you have any major life goals, crazy goals? Scuba diving, jet skiing, skydiving, Mount Everest, anything like that?
I think my biggest goal is to retire in Hawaii.
Okay.
So that I lived there for a while, and I want to go back, and I want to retire. So that's my biggest goal.
Okay. So, what took you to Hawaii?
A job. I was asked to become a counselor of sexual assault victims while I was there.
So, before you were there, where were you?
I was in Columbus, Ohio.
So you went from Ohio to Hawaii.
That's right. I went from working with offenders to working with victims.
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
So I haven't been to Hawaii yet, but I imagine it's a place you don't want to leave.
I didn't.
And did you come from Hawaii to Maryland?
I came from Hawaii back to Ohio and then to Southern California to get my PhD and then to Maryland.
Man, you've been everywhere. All right. So do you have any daily habits? Something that if you don't do it, your day doesn't feel successful or not successful, complete. For some people, it's vitamins. Some people, it's praying. Some people, it's meditating. Some people, it's going to the gym.
I think for me, it's probably spending time with my dog.
Okay.
And making sure my dog doesn't feel neglected because I'm out of the house for 8 or 10 hours a day.
What type of dog do you have?
She's a beagle.
Okay. What's her name?
Maggie.
Maggie.
And she's 10 years old.
All right, cool. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Here.
Okay.
Yep, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, perfect. Now, how many employees do you have?
32.
So, how do you create team culture so all your employees are not killing each other? Because this is a very stressful job, I couldn't imagine.
We're very dedicated to self-care and to trying to reduce what we call compassion fatigue. When you work with the kinds of stories that we hear on a daily basis, the kind of pain that we hear about on a daily basis, you really have to take care of yourself. So we're always trying to institute things that will help us take care of ourselves. We had a retreat not too long ago where we did things like gardening and tie-dyeing shirts and yoga, just to learn how to take care of ourselves.
Alrighty. So, really quickly, imagine there's somebody going through some type of abusive relationship right now.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to them for about, 15 to 20 seconds. So speak to them and let them know,
Okay.
whatever.
Right. Well, first of all, I want to say it's not your fault. There's nothing you could do to stop this. You need to, though, try and reach out for help. We are totally non-pressured. Your decisions are your decisions, and we don't try to pressure you to leave the situation, to make a report to police. But please call us at 301-662-8800. That's our 24-hour hotline.
Perfect. And I have a friend her friend was in a abusive relationship, and you guys, I don't remember if you either picked her up or you gave her a car. You gave her a place to stay while she was, working through her situation so she could get to and from work and didn't want to go back home. So really, really cool. So real quick, give us the stats of how many women in Frederick and how many men in Frederick County are going through an abusive relationship.
1 in 4 women will be abused during their lifetime in their relationship. That's over 30,000 women. It's 1 in 9 men, which is over 8,000 men, will go through an abusive relationship at some point in their lives.
All right. So 1 in 4 women, 1 in 9 men. So look to your left, look to your right. That person may be going through a situation and you have no idea. And what's even crazier is there could be somebody that you highly respect going home, putting their hands on their spouse. Not cool. So anyways, how can people get a hold of you?
Through our hotline, 301-662-8800, or our website, harleyhouse.org.
Okay. And I think we got time for one question, but you have to make it quick.
Okay.
How do you stay humble?
How do I stay humble?
Mm-hmm.
I think being in this job and learning about all the pain that's out there makes me very humble.
All right. So I hate to end this on a negative, but I had time for one question. So ValorLives interview series, episode number 36. Go out there, show some valor.
Okay, I'm working on it.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.